Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes to start off your day. Let me remind you that having some Facebook issues at the moment. So as a result, it's going to be hard to get the posts on there. If you don't have my weather app, download it. And if you do have the weather app and you haven't downloaded the update, download the update. It's there for both the iPhones and for the Android devices. Your local forecast will now default to your location, as will your current conditions. You don't have to manually put it in each time. And there's a Long Island tab for Long Island weather, which will be we'll start to we'll be putting in posts specifically for Long Island in the coming weeks and months. But let's get this spectacular Wednesday underway. And indeed, it is a spectacular Wednesday as we have a gorgeous day of sunshine and temperatures that are going to be in the mid 70s to around 80 degrees from southern New England all the way down into southeastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey. And it's going to be a little bit higher than that, lower 80s when you get down into Maryland and northeastern Virginia. The air up and down the East Coast is just bone dry. And just to give you an idea of you can expect for the next 5 days, we're going to be in a bit of a seesaw because we've got these weather fronts coming through. So ahead of the front, we're going to warm up a bit tomorrow, and the highs will be back up into the 80s, still in the 70s from Long Island and southern New England east, but we're looking at 80 to 85 from New York City west and south. With the warmer temperatures down in southern Pennsylvania and over into Maryland and northeastern Virginia. Then on Friday, with a front already gone, we go back the other way. So Friday should be really a repeat performance of today with wall-to-wall sunshine and temperatures in the 70s. The next front approaches on Saturday. Now, there might be a little bit more moisture with this. So there's a chance that there could be a scattered shower or two with this front late in the day. But much of the day should be rain-free, and it's going to be warm. Might be a late beach day here with temperatures in the low to mid 80s just about everywhere. And then that front pushes southward. Now, this is going to be one of those fronts, those east-west fronts that pushes south with high pressure to the north. So drier air will be forcing its way southward. It might be one of these deals where the cloud line gets to maybe central or South Jersey. Perhaps the front gets hung up for a little bit. So we're going to have to evaluate that as we get closer. Meanwhile, on the satellite this morning, as we take a look at this, you see not pretty much clear conditions again from coastal Maine all the way down into Georgia. And just let me move my head out of the way. Jerry is post-tropical. All that's left of Jerry really is this swirl of clouds, still producing tropical storm force winds, but there's no convection at all here, just some light showers as Jerry moves over Bermuda. You can see it on that's that little speck that's there in the lower right, a very, very small island. So you're going to get that low cloud swirl moving over there, and tropical storm warnings continue for Bermuda. In the meantime, as we look across the U.S., we're seeing the next weather front approaching. It's not really all that impressive. There'll be a few showers and storms with that as it crosses parts of the Midwest today. But here we are up and down the East Coast. It's just really quiet. No weather issues at all. This has just been an absolutely spectacular month weather-wise. All right, let's take a look at Tropical Storm Karen. 45-mile-an-hour winds now has emerged out on the Atlantic side. We're seeing a little bit of a convective increase this morning that is occurring, and it's moving toward the north. So it's going to continue on that northerly track. And when we look at the hurricane tracking models from overnight, they all take it north or north-northeast, and then they all turn Karen to the west as we head into and through the weekend. So these models, the global models, They all pretty much to do the same thing with Karen and, excuse me, and turn Karen to the west. There's also there's some questions about what's going to happen to the Karen. The global models actually weaken Karen, showing all this dry air getting involved. And they kind of take the storm apart where it separates away from the upper air support, kind of in the way Jerry, what happened with Tropical Storm Jerry. But there's a whole nother view on this, that the models are doing that incorrectly because conditions here are going to be rather favorable for strengthening. Low wind shear, very warm ocean water temperatures. So we'll see how those two forces play out with each other. In the meantime, just want to give you a quick view here of what I think is, at least from the standpoint of meteorology, a spectacular looking hurricane in Lorenzo, which is way out in the Atlantic. I mean, the circulation of this thing is huge, extending down from the deep tropics and the equator, going all the way north to about 20 degrees north. It's got a well-defined core. Hurricane Lorenzo, top winds 80 miles an hour, and will become a major hurricane as it moves its way through the central Atlantic. And I think it may also wind up being some kind of pattern change driver in the longer term, on the broad scale. Now, what that means specifically, I don't know yet, but we'll see. So in the meantime, as we just take a quick look here at the GFS model with respect to what's going on. So, of course, we've got high pressure overhead. Here's our cold front for tomorrow. Very little with this front. It just sort of moves on through, much like what happened the other day. So another high builds in behind it, another weak high. And then on Friday, that high moves out. We warm up on Saturday, and here's our front for Saturday evening. Also on the weak side, there's just a couple of scattered showers with this. This time around, though, the high is to the north. North of Lake Huron and Lake Superior. So here's where we have this onshore flow that builds in for Sunday and into Monday. So we're likely to see cooler temperatures in the 70s after a warm day on Saturday. And here's Karen, which the GFS and the European really didn't do very much with as it moves on to the west. I think the westerly motion is going to happen, and whether it develops into anything or not remains to be seen. And then into move to early next week, Monday into Tuesday, we start to warm up. Now here's another front that drops southward for midweek. Does it get through? Does it not get through? The GFS and the European both are saying now that maybe by later Wednesday or Wednesday night, we may see a frontal boundary get through here with some rather cool air behind it that comes in for the end of next week. But that's a problem for later on. So kind of went a little long today. My apologies. Weather in 5 sometimes turns into weather in 10 because of the fact that there's so much going on. So again, not to beat a dead horse here, but just want to remind you that download the weather app on Google Play or on the App Store. You can just search Joe Cioffi or meteorologist Joe Cioffi, or go to the Use App button that I have here on Facebook and download the free app. Because while I handcuffed with Facebook until Monday, posts are getting up there. I was able to figure out a way how to do it to get around this little jail thing that they got me in. And they got me in it because they labeled my weather content as abusive. I have no idea what that means, and they don't tell you. Doesn't matter. If you got the app, you don't have to be on this on the Facebook platform, and I think that's a big plus, especially if you're a business. If you're a business, you really shouldn't be on the Facebook platform because you know you write something and some bot knocks it out, and then you're stuck. And you don't want to be stuck, okay? So you got my app. You'll have my forecast. You get notifications, so make sure that they're turned on. And in the meantime, go to my YouTube channel, which is much more receptive for my live stream tonight at 7 o'clock. And you can also, of course, see the videos right on the app itself. So anyway, I'm trying to digest my coffee and wake up this morning. Have a great day. And thanks for being here on a very long Weather in 5.